We are live. You make me laugh. We are live. What's up, George? What's going on in the house of Craze tonight?
In the House of the Craze tonight, we have a very special guest. She is a repeat offender. It is Lori Capatera, and she's on the show. Going to be talking to us about Path of the Pale Rider, which her Kickstarter is coming up for issue number 3. We are also going to be talking to you guys about being careful of early success. We'll talk a little bit more about that in just a few minutes, so check us out.
Let's get it!
We are the only show for independents all around, giving you a platform to spread your word all over town. Cast the Craze is the place to promote to your fans with the dream of Medina and Sam the Crazy Man. Subscribe to our show and never miss an episode. It's time to get your meds, listen to us on the go. Updated every week, we never miss a day. Join the squad, come on in. It's time to catch the Craze. If you are an independent, catch the Craze. Making moves on your own, catch the Craze. On your grind in the streets, catch the Craze. Join the movement, catch the Craze.
Yeah, George, we did it again. Come on now. You know you want to do it. Catch the Craze. Welcome to Catch the Craze podcast. I'm your host with the most, Sam the Crazy Man Vera. And I am with
George, the Dreamer Medina. What's happening, everyone? Welcome to another exciting, and crazy episode of Catch the Craze. We are live once again. It is Tuesday, March 7th. Crazies, what is your profession? Yes, we are live. We are here. What up? What up? We are here. We are hanging out. Jeez, everybody's in the house. We have a great show for you guys tonight. We have a packed show for you guys tonight. We have a very interesting topic, I think, a PSA of sorts that we're going to be talking about. But we have a friend of the show, someone who's been, this is her third appearance on the show. So big shout out to her. She's going to be talking to us in just a few minutes. I'll give you more information on who that is. But before we start, Lou, you are on time. But before we start, make sure that you subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so already. Make sure you hit the like button, comment below. You know, we're in the chat. We are live right now. Give us a thumbs up if you're in the chat. Let us know you're hanging out. Thank you so much for everyone who has showed up tonight. But yeah, no, we got a good show, man. We got a good show. We got a few things. We got a what is the word I'm looking for, Sam? I just lost my words right now. Sponsor. We have a sponsor of this show tonight. So big shout out to Global Indie Group. Yes. Shh. Keep it quiet. But what up, Sammy? What you got going on, dog?
What's up? First and foremost, Kickstarter update. Everything got shipped. So everybody who backed in needle in my toilet, it's gonna be hitting you any day now. So just look in the mail; it's heading your way. And the digital rewards were sent out as well. So check your inbox, check your spam folder, your junk mail. Make sure it's there. Don't be calling me 3 months from now saying I never got the link. Right? So make sure you got it because it expires in 18 days. It expires in 18 days.
How
many people like 6 months later, a year later? Hey, I never get the link for that digital reward. It's like lies, all lies. Anyway,
bro, that thing rots. It expires in 18 days. Get it out of your box.
I gotta free up my space. I got my digital. Oh yeah,
that space costs money.
It costs money, bro. No money, no honey. Right? And yes, and speaking of that book, the graphic novel, the landing page is active. If you haven't done so already, sign up to be notified when we launch the graphic novel. Over 140 pages of belly jiggling laughter. So you want to be part of the fun. Duty is coming in a big way. Relish in the house. What's up?
What up?
About that. I'll put the link in the chat in a second. And so that's what's going on. And I'm getting ready in a couple of weeks. I'll be in Puerto Rico. Puerto Rico. Puerto Rican Comic Con, and it's huge. It is so big that they also hold concerts during the Comic Con. Crazy. So it's going to be
Comic Con. You know how it goes.
Yeah,
During
they
the
don't have
Comic-Con.
money. Yeah,
That's
so I'm
awesome.
gonna be over there from the 6th. I leave it's the 7th, 8th, and 9th. So I'll be there from the 6th to the 10th. And then a couple weeks right after that, I will be at the Central Texas Comic Con in Waco, Texas, right after that. So April's a big month. I'm excited about that. So and then last but not least, I'm also excited that Duty's a comic strip. So Duty will be distributed in stores and Barnes and Nobles and a newspaper for kids and all ages. And he's one of I think 28 strips that are in there, and it's I'm excited about that. So I was approached. We talked. I'm in there.
Awesome.
I submitted the first 2 months of strips, so that's done. So I'll let you know once it hits stores. Make sure you go to your local comic stop and say, "Yo, Duty's coming."
Yo, you made that sound really creepy. I was approached. I was
I was
like, whoa, are you okay? Are you all right? Nah,
Bro,
that's
I was
good stuff,
approached,
brother.
bro. I was
That's good
approached.
stuff. Yes, yes. Duty is it's almost like coming home again, right? It started out as a comic strip. It goes back to being a comic strip. It's full circle,
Yeah,
full circle
man.
moment
It is
for
full
Duty.
circle. It's exciting. I'm excited about it.
Yeah,
Yeah, and it was easy because I started with Duty as a comic strip. So
right.
and more to come. There's some big news coming down the pike. I'll share as they come along. So hope this Duty and I have been waiting for a year like this, and so far it looks good. So I'm excited.
There you go. There you go. Big shout out to Duty. There's a name in my toilet. Sign up to the pre-launch page that is up right now. The link should be in the show notes. So
Yep.
make sure you do that. Big shout out to our sponsors for today. We're going to show you a little video later on, right before our guest comes on. But
Yes.
Indie Group, big shout out to them for subscribing the show, for sponsoring the show. And if you subscribe to Catch the Craze, receive 50% off your sign up membership using promo code CDC50. So join Gig today.
Wow.
You're going to get 50% off on the sign up.
Word, man. Who doesn't want to save money?
Who
Who
doesn't
doesn't
want to
want to
save money,
save?
honey?
Right.
Save a little
Right.
money, save a little cash, save a little cash.
Yes.
So do that. Go to globalindiegroup.com, sign up, 50%. Just put in the code when you sign up, CDC50,
Yes.
take 50% off. But make sure you subscribe to the channel as well.
Yes.
Make sure
And
you
then
subscribe.
also special shout out because I relaunched my art my art channel was defunct. When I relaunched it in December, there was only 40 subscribers. But now we're over 300 and something subscribers. I forgot. So today alone I got 10 subscribers to the channel. So thank you to every one of you out there. And these are real people because they're using their names.
These
Not
are
like
real
Podcast
people.
Craze, like half the people we don't know who's subscribing because they stay
Stop
private.
throwing shit. Stop it. Stop it. Stop
Shame.
it. Just be
Shame.
happy that you got the subscribers. You
There's
gotta
a
throw
little
this shit.
song I wrote.
Oh my
Not
God.
to sing it note
Kid
for
is
note.
never
Don't
happy.
worry.
Great thing just happened. And he's like, well, not like these other guys. Get
So
off
these
my
are real
lawn.
people. These are real people. So thank you. They're not bots. So thank you all for subscribing to the channel. What's up?
Hey, yo.
That's awesome. Hey, what's up? Yeah. So if you haven't gone to the art
Yeah.
channel, The Art of Samuel, check it out. There's weekly episodes and there's drawing stuff. And this week it's what I learned from 10 campaigns. And you watched me as I packed the Kickstarter that went out to everybody. So that's up there right now. And then check out the Craze and 10LS. I reposted. What is this? Hey, what's up? I reposted an oldie but goodie episode. Stop losing money. Watch this. So it's basically, why indies lose money. And it's a breakdown of that stuff. So it's revisited that episode. So check it out. Check out the Crazy Nintendo Last. A lot of good nuggets in there. If you're an aspiring indie comic book creator, you're looking to get into the game and you don't know where to start, check out a lot of those episodes because it's very informative.
Yeah, yeah. And if you guys are going to be in the Boston area on April 22nd, that weekend of April 22nd, I will be at WickedCon. I will be there. I'll be hanging out with my boy Jonathan Syfax. We're going to be walking the floor, so check it out. Anima, que pasó? So make sure you check us out. If you're in the Boston area, like I said, WickedCon, April 22nd. Check me out. We're going to be hanging out, Boston. The city of Boston. Yeah, city of Boston, where we're going to park our cars and hang out. So, yeah, check that out. Check that out. If you haven't done so yet, also go to getyourmeds with a Z.com. Check out some of the stuff that I have on there. My book, The Adventures of Wonder Duck, and Rust 5377. So check that stuff out. But yeah, man, we had a few things going on this year so far. We've had a lot of things going on this year so far.
Yeah. And
And
shout out
just
to
like
the
every
3
year,
new
bro.
subscribers to Catch the Craze. We
There you
appreciate
go.
you out there. Thank you for
There you
subscribing
go.
to the channel.
Big shout out. We're on the road to 1,000 now. As I was saying, with the year going as it's going, we had plans for our 500th episode, which is 2 episodes away. It'll be in 2 weeks at this point. And we were planning on doing having a little fun, doing some awards. The Crazy Awards were going to happen. We decided to put a hold on the Crazy Awards. There's a lot going on right now, so we're going to put a hold on that. We're going to move it to maybe when we get to 750 subscribers, maybe even 1,000 subscribers.
Yes.
And do a big celebration for the Crazy Awards. So that's not going to be happening in episode 500. We have other things planned for that.
We got to make it bigly.
Yeah.
Bigly.
Yeah. And we weren't going to be able to do that with the amount of time that we have. So
yeah, we know, and
yeah,
exactly. And if you watched any of the previous celebrations that we've done for Catch the Craze, we usually have a lot of momentum building up towards it, a lot of trailers and promos and activities and all this stuff. Because there's so many moving parts right now, we want to do it right. So we don't want to half rear it. We want to do it right, and we want to make it big, and we want a lot of participation. And so it's going to be big when we do it. And you'll know, because when you start seeing the video countdowns and the promos, when we get aggressive with it, you'll know it's coming.
It's coming. That's right. So it is up to you guys to help us get to 1,000. And the sooner we get to 1,000, the sooner we'll be able to, have that little party, have the little Crazy Awards happening. So big shout out to everyone who has already subscribed. Yeah, big shout out to everyone who has already subscribed. But the road to 1,000 is real. We're still going. We're still getting it. We're still going. We're still on the road. So
you remember that song?
What song?
Don't be tardy to the party.
Don't be tardy to the party. No, sing it.
No, I don't. It was the Desperate Housewives of New York, and one of them became a singer, and she came out with a song, "Don't be tardy to the party."
Desperate Housewives of New York. Okay. All right. I hear you, dog. I hear you. I'm not even gonna.
Listen, in the house.
Yo, Mike, what up, brother? Anyway. Before we continue, before we go into the topic,
things I know, it's just irrelevant. But what are you gonna do?
Listen, I understand. I watched a few episodes of Sex and the City. I understand.
Yeah.
I get it. But before we continue, just a big shout out to again our guest for today. This is her 3rd time on the show, and I know we're not going to get to the intro before we bring her in. But she was on the show promoting this book, her first issue, about 10 months ago. It was episode 418. So if you want to go back into the archives and find out everything about Miss Calcaterra, go to episode 418. She was also on the show for her second campaign, of The Path of the Pale Rider, and that was episode 462, 5 months ago. She is now back a 3rd time for the 3rd campaign. She's gonna let us know when it's launching. Yeah, it's not live yet. But she will let us know. And this is for the 3rd episode. Since she was 462, there's the 3rd episode of the actual book. Now listen, I read the second chapter. She's a hell of a writer. She's a hell of a writer. She's a martial artist, and she's going to be coming on in just a few minutes. So we'll be talking.
She's a musician. I mean, she has a grand piano.
She's got a grand piano in the house. Yeah, she just moved. Dude, let me tell you something.
Filmmaker.
Let me tell you something. There's reading comics, and then there's reading this comic. If you guys haven't gotten the
I like that. I like it. You prep that one? That was nice.
It's a script. I have a whole script. I prepare myself for these interviews, bro.
Good for you. You do baby.
But like I was reading her book right before, just rereading it because she sent the digital file, and I can't wait to get the actual copy of it. But dude,
where's my car?
It's an experience reading this book, isn't it? And I'm not just saying that because she's on the show. It really is.
Sure.
If you don't know what the hell I'm talking about, pick up issue number 2. Okay, she's got QR codes. She's got sign language. I mean, it's an experience reading this book. It's like nothing you've ever done when you're reading a comic book. Yes, it is It is different. It is different. So
You're going
make
for
sure
a
you
ride.
pick that up. I'm sure she's going to have a catch-up tier on the third campaign. So if you missed the first 2 issues, you want to pick that up. We'll let her tell you what the story's about, because I don't want to mess that up. I'm sure she's got a pitch
Yeah, stop
down.
messing it
She's
up.
been
Stop
doing this
messing
for
it
a while. But yeah, but before we get to her, why
up.
don't we talk a
Wait,
little
wait.
bit about?
I just want to add a little cherry on top.
Talk to me.
She did such a good job at writing the story and partnering with the right artist that if you take the words out, you can still follow the story.
Yeah,
You know what I'm saying? So
I think
she provided
yeah,
enough direction for the illustrator that you can tell the story like a silent film.
yeah.
Like
No,
you
it's
can
well
follow
done.
it from start to finish. So hats off to the production value on that book on all levels.
I mean, listen. I mean, most of the book is it's just action packed, and a lot of it is just a nice choreographed fight scene. And we're gonna talk to her about that because she's got a lot of, I guess, a lot of experience in choreographing fight scenes. So we're gonna talk to her about that as
Yeah,
well.
man. Watch
Yeah,
out.
yeah, big time, big time. But we are going to be moving on now to get your meds, Sam. Are you feeling sick?
No, I'm sick.
Oh, you're good. Oh, today you're good.
I'm sick after talking, but yeah, let's get you
Let's
man.
do it.
It's time for your medicine.
Be careful of early success. What are you talking about, man? I don't know what you that they see this. Wait,
Just
she's
saying,
going to
man.
be in the woman art. Yes, she is. I think. Yes, she is. Yes,
Okay.
yes.
Awesome. Awesome.
I'm
Um,
every woman.
yes,
It's
be
gonna
careful of
be
early. And this is a PSA for our young creators out there, the young cats who just started coming into the business,
you gotta stop acting up.
it's their first time in here and they're killing it, right? Everything is sunshine and rainbows, baby. You haven't heard, yeah, nice. You haven't heard no's. Everything has been yes.
Gravy.
You go on Kickstarter, you're making 10 G's off the bat.
Making it rain.
250, guys,
Ah, ah.
250. Wow.
Yo, can I borrow some money?
Yeah, that was powerful. Yeah, you out here 250 backers deep, right?
Who needs a
Boom.
publisher? I'm
Yo,
paid.
you good? I'm good. I'm good, man. I'm good.
Yo.
Everybody wants my book, right?
Yo, back off, Timmy. You're not at my level
Chill,
anymore.
chill, man. Chill. Yeah, they're breaking up with best friends. You know what I mean? They're moving away from home. They're trying to buy a
Maseratis.
house. Be careful of that success. Be
Word.
very, very careful. And be careful in the sense that it's issue 1. If you have another issue coming, you got to try to replicate that exact same momentum, which the second time around seems to be a lot harder than the first time. Because remember, we talked about this last week. The first time around, your family is in it, your friends are in it, and they want to see you succeed. They want to see you blow up. So they're going to throw some money into your campaign. By the time the second one comes around, they might think,
They
hey,
want
man,
their money back.
I helped you out. Yeah. Where's my money, bro? You made all this money. Can I get some of that investment money back?
Oh, I gotta pay my rent.
Be careful. Be careful. Be careful. Be careful of complacency, right?
Word.
Of thinking you got it. This is easy. What are they talking about? Why do they keep saying it's it's hard? This is easy. Be careful because this industry has a way of kicking you right in the ass. You know what I mean? And making it hurt. So the second time your campaign comes around, now you have $1,000, 20 backers, and you're like, yo, what the heck just happened? What the heck just happened? Be careful. You will be good. Nice.
You know how we do.
I love Mike. I
know, right?
But be careful, though. Be careful. Yes. What do you think, Sam? What do you think? What is your thoughts on this topic? What are your thoughts?
Be very quiet. Your rabbits. I think what happens, and we see it all the time. You get that first strike of luck, right? They come out the gates. They have a moderate goal, which is a smart thing to do when you're first up to bat, right? And then they blow up, boom, and then they come out and they say, well, you know what? I made 10 G's, so I'm going to make my goal 15 G's. Mm-hmm. Dummy, what are you doing? What are you doing? Get over here, right? So you don't do it. Stick with the same goal that you had the first time. because you never know if they're going to come back. Because you got to remember, there are a lot of people who just want number ones because they're collectors. They just want a number one. They saw your cover. Maybe there was an artist that you had on a variant cover. They want that for their collection because they're saying maybe this guy's going to pop off one day. I want to make sure I have it in my collection.
Hell yeah, that's gonna.
Those guys aren't going to come back for your number two if they didn't like it.
Or
right?
they didn't even open it because they're collectors.
Oh,
They
yes.
never read it.
Yes. Right. So you got that. You got the family members that are like, yo, I already hooked you up. Don't talk to me the next time. We're good. Right. One and done. I'm out of here. Leave me alone. So,
I give you $500. What you want more money for?
Gone. Right.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and then the buddies, right? The buddies like, I can't keep backing you, bro. Leave me alone. Right. So you take that crew out, and now you got to hustle. Right. So the message is don't take it for granted. Don't make any assumptions. Always go into every campaign as if it's your first, and then be smart about it. Just say, all right, if I had 50 backers, how much would it cost me to print, package, and ship everything to everybody, and start there. Right. If you have to pay an artist, what would that be? Start there. But when you start thinking that you're Brian Pulido, you're gonna have some problems. Right. And and we see it all the time. Then they can't repeat the same magic, because unfortunately the game it's not a constant. The game is not a constant. The game is cyclical, and then the trends change too. So you might have put out a book that was part of a wave of whether it's the genre or whatever it is, but then that people move on, taste change too. So the biggest thing I would say to anybody, if you're getting into the game to make a quick buck and you're just chasing a trend, it's risky. If you love what you do and you're passionate about it, it's going to be a long process. And so that's the long game. Make sure you're in it for the long game, and don't go crazy. I hate when these guys come up with it.
No, and make sure that the book is quality, And I'm not just talking about artwork. I'm not talking about artwork. I'm talking about writing. I'm talking about the writing, the story. Make sure that it is a good story, because pretty pictures will always sell you that first issue, man. That beautiful cover is going to sell you tons of that first issue. But if that story's garbage, they're not coming back. They're not coming back. So make sure that part of the quality is also there. It's not my first or my last. Great character, Bob from La Bamba. Check it out. That's a great character. Yes. But yeah, no, that's the PSA. That's the PSA for today. We're gonna keep it nice and short because Lori's in the background. I'm sure she wants to come out here and talk about Path of the Pale Rider. But yes,
just stop back up and go in there, be humble, be curious, have fun. Because Kickstarter is stressful. Kickstarter is a stressful game, because there's no guarantee, and you just got to keep on grinding. It's like that's just the biggest thing. And then if you want to learn about how to navigate in the Kickstarter space, go to Kickstarter itself. They have a whole bunch of information that you can learn from, and then check out. We got episodes where we interview cats that are very successful on Kickstarter and find out what their secret is. We talk about it on our show. Check it out. There's a lot of information out there. Don't think that you're too smart and that you can circumvent the system. The system is not made to make you successful. You have to work the system so that way your audience grows, and that takes a lot of work on your part. That's it. And
there's different things, bro. There are different things that work for different people. So what works for one person may not work for you, or vice versa. So you gotta keep finding out what it is that's gonna work for you.
Word. And before we bring in our guests, we have a word from our sponsor.
Ooh.
So let's see. Tell him again, George.
Subscribe to catch the craze and join Gig and receive 50% off your sign-up membership using promo code CDC50.
Word. And now,
Facts.
the moment you've all been waiting for. She went face to face and toe to toe with Gina Carano in the UFC.
Wow.
She's competing in the motion picture screen with George Lucas. She is going after John Wayne and Clint Eastwood with a cowboy comic book series. None other than Lori Calcaterra.
Lorraine.
Hi everybody! Oh my god, I was just cracking up in the back, the back studio. I love being on this show because I always have a great time, and you guys always have such good information.
All right, thank you, Lori. Thank you.
You're like, you can, we're gonna bring you on around this time. I'm like, oh, I'm gonna be there early because I want to come hang out and listen to what you guys are gonna say. So I always have a blast just hanging out in the back room. So.
Lord, always a good time. Always a good time to have you on the show. Your house looks amazing.
I know. Do you like my new grand piano?
Yeah.
I love it.
We're gonna have Elton John on later.
Oh, okay. It's like that. It's like that. All right. Well, listen. Before you came on, obviously we're giving you flowers on your book, Path of the Pale Rider, and that wasn't BS. It's real because the book is really, really good. You've been on the show a few times, so we've told people to check out the interviews that we've done with you today. We want to focus on Path of the Pale Rider issue number 3, but I did want to talk to you a little bit about the first 2 issues, and without spoiling too much, tell us just a little bit about the story.
Okay, so in this world, your body can die, but your consciousness, your soul, it doesn't leave your body. So you get to hang out and enjoy your own decay phase. So something broke death in this world, and it's people, it's animals, it's insects. Nothing gets to leave. It's one hell of a mess because we're all stuck here together. There is no death. There is only decay. So when we start the comic in issue number 1, we're with Jude St. Clair, who is our cowboy, who is like the last guy still looking for the answer. 10 years into any kind of apocalypse, people move on. I mean, look at us in freaking COVID. We're over it, right? So he's kind of like still out there researching conspiracy theories, and things have devolved back to the Wild West. So you're going to see just a lot of different things throughout issues 1 and 2 of what the apocalypse looks like. You get to learn a lot about Jude St. Clair, like the decisions that he makes in the wild. And I'm so glad, Sam, that you said that about my artist, about how he can convey things without words, because there's not a lot of words in issue 1. It's very quiet, right? And that's kind of like how you survive in the wild. Isn't that great? There is no death. It's only decay.
That's scary in itself right there. Just that line. There is no death, only decay. It's scary to think.
You know how hard it was just to deal with zits as a kid, and I got to deal with a decaying face now? That's crazy.
Well, here's the thing. It's like we don't really have flesh-eating zombies. We have people whose brains are decaying in their skull. Okay, so it's your mom, your brother, your neighbor. It's people that you know and love, and to watch them kind of decay real fast, at least in the beginning before we start to tackle the issues of decay. To see people get forgetful, to become violent, to become chaotic, to become just uncaring. Doesn't matter if you're alive anymore in this world. It's a hard place to navigate. But again, it's still people. It's not, are there cannibalistic people? Sure. Can you have cannibalistic undead people? Sure. But that's not the majority of what you're dealing with. Right. You're dealing with the ethical problems that will arise because now we have this whole class of people who are dangerous. Yeah. And maybe don't mean to be, but they are.
I'm intrigued by the writing process and how this story came to be because, obviously the zombie genre is a genre that has been tackled many, many times. The Walking Dead, Shaun of the Dead, whatever. You have there's plenty of stories. What was it that inspired you to write this story, and what was it that made you take it this way? Other than, yeah, I wanted to be a little different, but what was it that clicked in your head? Like, there is no death, only decay. Let's
Yeah.
go. What happened? Talk to us about the process, the creative process behind the concept of the story.
Right. So when I started writing and I got this idea, what if nothing could die? What would that mean for the world? So the first thing I did is I ran through the gamut of issues that would be created by death no longer being functional. So first I did all the rules in the world building, which took a long time. I took a long time spending, thinking about like what would happen to our food supply, what would happen to weapons, would guns be functional, would we need, not against the undead, they wouldn't, right? What happens with insects? What happens when we run out of
Right.
food? What happens with, what does the government do? How would people react to the undead? How would rules apply to them, or what rules do we take away from them so that way we could feel safe? And then how would they react to that? So it's just a whole lot of really going down rabbit holes and thinking things through to what, I do have an
Did you
answer.
write all this down? Did you
But
write
you know what's
everything
funny?
down or no?
I have it on 3x5 cards.
Oh, you do. You
That
do.
is my writing process. Is I like to write when I'm writing something big, I'll write it on 3x5 cards. And when I get about 200, that's about as far as I should go. Okay. So
Okay.
200 cards is like 200 scenes. Okay. That's a
Yeah.
full length movie.
Yeah. So
And
everything's on these index cards.
Want to see them?
Yeah. Show me
Here's
the
a
cards.
portion of what I'm working on for my second season.
That's insane.
I'm 26. I'm on issue 26. So there's going to be about 12 in the second kind of see again, I come from screenwriting and production. So when I wrote this, it was a full-length movie. I kind of see it now as like a Netflix season. So I got like season 1, season 2, and season 3 that I'm working on. And then I'm like halfway through season 2. Is where
Now,
I am.
and you've written obviously plenty of stories. What is this? No Death, Only Decay, giving me the House Papa Nurgle vibes from Warhammer. Love the art I've seen, and Lori's great. Yeah, there you go.
Thank you.
I wouldn't want to
I
die
wanna
to
die
go
to him.
around to read issue number 3 of the Pale Rider.
Dude, we haven't
been
talked
dead
about
since
limbs coming off
1988. Yeah, bad sweet taco. Great concept.
because someone asked me this question.
Which one?
What would happen if your limb got separated from your body?
Yeah.
Where does your consciousness go? Is it in the limb? Is it in the body? Does the limb? It's all of the above. So your arm can still be flopping around when your body over there. So you have a character coming up that's a head.
So wait, so your limb. Okay, so you get they cut your limb off. It's somewhere over there. It doesn't need the brain. It doesn't need the brain to do anything. It will.
Well, I mean,
continue
technically,
to
your
move.
brain's dead anyway.
Right. So there are no signals being sent to that arm, but yet it's still doing its thing. Interesting. Huh. Yeah. See, it's a crazy concept. It's like it's very different. It's very different than what we've seen. Now, I wanted to ask you about. I know that you've written a lot of this already. Right?
Yeah.
Now you have 2 books that you've printed, you've published. You're working on your 3rd one. Have you now gone back into what you've already written, and based on what you saw and what your artist you see? Oh wow, my artist can do that. Have you changed some of the things that are coming up, or you've kind of be like, nope, I'm leaving it as is? Nothing's been sparked as far as like, oh, I can do this now because I have this artist that is killing it right now.
Marco is 100% amazing. What I love so much about him is that he can read my script, see exactly what I'm trying to communicate, but will oftentimes add things to like my ancillary characters that really mean nothing. Or he will, like, if you read issue number 2, did you see all the crazy stuff he put in the background of that saloon? He had like a singing bass on one of the walls. He had he draws these little goblins as part of his signature. He had framed goblins. And part of the thing about what I wrote into the script is that that's actually a hair salon that they turned into a saloon. People aren't getting their hair dyed no more. So if you look in the background, he has those hair dryer chairs, and the mirrors have those lights on it like it's a salon.
Now, listen, Lori, I got to be honest with you. I did love the art. I love the art. It was incredible. I was, and I think this is part of the reason why I don't like digital comics. I'm gonna tell you why.
Mm,
Because I was so intrigued by the words on
happening.
the page that I didn't even get a chance to kind of look through
Yeah.
everything on the page. Where like if I'm holding a book in my hand, I can sit on that page, just look and just stare
Yeah.
at it. You know what I
Well,
mean?
your copy's coming. My
Yeah,
book's
no, no.
printed
I
this
can't wait.
weekend. So
Yeah, I can't wait. I can't wait to see
whew,
it. But that is a compliment to your writing, and I
thank
got it.
you.
My hats
There's
off
like,
to you because
what's next?
it really in the dialogue, and it's all in the dialogue. Because yes, we as readers of comics, we don't see the work that goes into your panel descriptions. We don't
Right.
know. We don't see that. All we see as comic book readers is the dialogue, and the dialogue was fresh, and the dialogue was very much. And you say you come from screenwriting, and it shows.
Yeah.
Like there's a lot of that in there. Do you, when you're writing this dialogue, are you kind of like acting it out yourself, or what is your process for dialogue writing? What do
Yeah,
you
a lot of
do?
times I like play it in my head like it's a movie.
Mhm,
But it's funny that you say that because a lot of times the words will change. For
mhm.
what I have written, depending on how much room I have. Like you said, like a lot of times Marco will add stuff, and I just like I had a really hard time putting some of the word bubbles in because I was covering
You
some of
don't
the
want
cool
cover,
stuff
yeah.
in the back, and I didn't want
Mhm.
to. So it's like I might reduce the amount of words that I'm using, but still try to get the same thing across. And again, like when I wrote the card scene, the poker game,
That was great.
none of that was there. I was like, they play cards and then this happens. So Marco drew it and I was like,
Ah,
okay. So when we got to that scene, I was like, make sure you give me some spots to put in some insults because they're gonna be insulting each other. But I had
huh,
not written anything. So again, it's one of those like, okay, let me look at it. I might change some things as I'm getting the pages because it makes more sense and it fits better. So things
interesting.
will constantly be evolving, even from the script. Now, saying that,
Mhm.
I don't plan on changing anything or adding things to the story because of Marco's skills. My script is super challenging. The further we go, he is going to be pushed as hard as he can go. And I'm like, we slowly get there. You know what I
Right,
mean?
right.
So it's like he might have to tackle something big next time, and then something bigger next time, and then some until like issue number 8. My God, I don't know if you guys have heard me mention issue number 8. Issue number 8 is by far my favorite in the first season, and it's
Mhm.
a doozy. It's
Yeah.
a doozy. So when Marco draws that one, I can't wait to see what he does with it. It'll be amazing.
It's crazy. I mean, and you know what? And this is, compliments to him. I feel like with every, and this is only the second issue, obviously, but every
Yeah.
time he draws, he seems to be getting better and better
Yes.
and better as an
I do
artist.
have
Like
some good
he's
news for you,
evolving.
What's that?
though. You got 4 new signups since we started this episode. You got 44,
People?
now you got 48.
There you go.
Congratulations.
Thank
There you
you.
go. Yeah, no, listen, this book, and I was telling Sam before you came on, obviously you were in the background, listen to this. It's an experience reading the book. And I say that because there's a soundtrack to this thing. When the fight starts, there's a soundtrack to this fight. And people, yes, and people make, how the hell do you make a soundtrack on a medium such as comics? You can. You can, and you figure it out how. And I'm not even going to say what it is, Lori, because I want people to pick up issue 2 and find
Yes,
out how that happens, how you incorporated a musical
music.
soundtrack to the fight scene so that it's kind of playing in the background as you're watching this fight unfold and as you're reading the insults that go back and forth on it. It's
Yes.
brilliantly done. It's really well done. How did that idea pop into your head? Like, don't tell us
Well,
what the idea is.
okay,
Where
I
did that
can't.
come from?
I love that
Yeah.
movie. And that soundtrack is so iconic. All you have to do is hear
Okay.
the beginning and you know what you're listening to, right? And that's just kind of like
Right.
the epitome of a western to me,
Right.
is
Right.
that movie. So Jude St. Clair resembles the actor from that
Yes.
movie
Yes, he does.
slightly.
Yes,
We
he
don't
does.
we don't
Yeah.
use his as reference, but he does facial expressions that mimic, right? Like
Right.
the eye
Right.
squints, that's a thing he does.
Did you talk to Marco about that? Like when you guys were creating the character, or he was drawing the character, you told him that you wanted that kind of
Yes.
that?
Well,
Yeah.
that's in the
Okay.
character bio. I have
It
bios for
is.
all my characters. So when he starts a new issue and there's a new character, there's a full description. There's a background of history for each character, their likes, their dislikes, their phobias, their history, everything. I have fleshed all of them out.
Mm.
I've spent lots of time. So really, he gets to read it, and then it still amazes me that like on his first try, he gets it because that's just who Marco is. But it's I try to make it as easy as possible with very descriptive, descriptions of these characters, so that way they're brought to life as they're intended to be. And again, with those extra characters in the background, I'm just like, man, B, and he's just like, well, now she's a woman and she has a hat and she looks like a badass, and I'm like,
She's good. Yeah, that was cool too. That was cool
because
too.
I'm like,
Yeah.
it's just throwaway characters in my mind, but he's putting them on a page. He's breathing life into these characters. They mean something to him, and I'm just like, just kill them.
You do have a call to action.
Oh yes, I do.
Yes, so let's play that for everybody.
You want to see? I have to
What have I seen?
You just threw everyone right into the deep end.
Yes, I was like, I didn't prep this video. So tell us about what we just saw. 'Cause I'm sober. I think I should have had a drink before I watched this.
Okay, for people who are not familiar with Path of the Pale Rider, we do other things besides comic books. With every issue, we release a short film and we do a riddle. Like I have issue 1 right here in front of me. Let me take this stinking background off. So we know what we're talking about. Say goodbye to the grand piano, everybody. Bye.
Goodbye, grand piano.
My actual kids. Here's my Path of the Pale Rider issue number 1. This is the David Rodriguez cover with the zombies. They're just coming to ask you if you were aware that your car warranty is running out.
Oh, wow.
They're not coming to eat your brains. So, like, I just have a question about your car warranty. But here's the riddle that I created on the back. So you can actually solve this riddle, and it takes you to some place in the real world. So that's issue 2's riddle is live. So even with the digital, you can still solve it. And that one's interesting because when you solve it, you actually get something in the mail from one of my characters. So solve the riddle. And then, so the short film. So the world is so big, and I spent all this time world building. And the way that Jude moves through the world, he's doing something very specific. So if there's something that I think is really cool about the world that Jude doesn't really get to explore because of where he is in either the time or the place, I figured we would explore it more with these other types of media. So these riddles and the short films are basically the rabbit hole you can fall into to learn more and participate in the world of Path of the Pale Rider. The short films are fan interactive. So that means that when you see the extras in my short films, they're all fans.
Right. Yeah.
Which is really a lot of fun. So the first one we did was like a commercial for the undead retirement community, the place that like everybody thinks they end up once they die and they get separated from the living. It's a commercial for that. But it's like white picket fences and beautiful landscape and calm and relaxing, but it's like interspliced with these riots and violence and things on fire. It's what we want the world to be versus what's really going on. So I kind of tackled that in the first short film. That one's only like 2.5 minutes. The second one, I had much more fan participation. So I was trying to like get as many people into it as possible. And it was so much fun and absolutely hilarious because what we did is we tackled conspiracy theories. So we're so far in the beginning where it's like nobody has any clue what broke death. So I wanted to ask people, I'm like, what do you think broke death? So I walked around like I was a reporter. We ran it as like it was a news channel. And I went around and I talked to a bunch of people. What do you think broke the death process? And I heard everything from like food, government, vaccines, A lot
McDonald's,
of people,
McDonald's was one of them. Yeah,
awesome. That's my friend Jazar Riches, and she
yeah,
comes from production, so you can tell she's a, she has
yeah. So
screen
I think
presence.
I think somebody said cats in
Cats,
one
yeah,
of the, yeah,
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 yeah, that's right. That's right.
she
yeah,
actually
yeah,
hates cats.
yeah.
Because that was one of the things where people like, I really want to be in your short film, but I don't know what to say.
Right.
So like one lady, I just had her cry through the entire interview.
Oh my
Really
God,
funny.
yes, I remember
And
that one too.
I just asked her like 4,000 questions, and most of them are on the blooper reel because they're ridiculous. Like, is it macaroni and cheese? Is it fancy footwork? Is it Elvis? Is it
Now the involvement in these videos,
Yeah.
Lori, is that something that is a tier on the campaigns, or is this something that it's just a call to action, almost like, hey, if you want to be in it, just send me your video.
It's a 100% free. The
Mm.
riddles are always included. All the shenanigans that go along with the riddle. It's not something that we fund with the Kickstarter. The Kickstarter is solely meant to fund the comic. So
Mm.
all of the short films I do myself. I do a lot of the filming myself. I got the drone out for this one. You will see that short call to action 30-second clip featured in the new short
Gotcha.
film. So
Now
it's
let me ask you a little bit about that scene in the saloon or in the salon. Um, it's a fight scene. It's a big bloody cats. It's a big fight scene. Now,
fight
for
scene.
those who have watched you before on our show, and if you haven't, go check out the interview. You did some of that you've done fight
Yes.
choreography. That's what you did, right?
Yes.
And so how much of that were you kind of like posing for some of this stuff? Were you sending reference shots of how you want the punches to land and where they should go next as they're fighting? Did you do some of that stuff? Like, tell me a little bit about the construction of that scene from paper to actual artwork that was that we see in the book.
Well, Jude is a brawler. He doesn't have really any kind of fight background. When we get into issue 3, you learn much more about how Jude started the apocalypse. But he's just a
Ooh.
brawler. He just punches and kicks and bites and spits insults with people with his hands. That's what he does. So
He's a
that
good
one was a
fighter.
very like, what's that?
No, he's a good fighter. I'm saying he was like, let's
He
even
can
up these
hold his
odds, and he
own.
takes on, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, he takes on a group of guys and he does stuff. But I mean, like,
Right.
that was my mentality of like, how would I tackle a room of like 5 guys? If they're behind a table, you flip the table, you know what I mean? And like, I'm not going to say, but he's doing stuff. He's
Right.
using his environment. He's manipulating that kind of stuff. And he also, he really picks that fight. He does. He started the whole damn thing. But it's interesting to see how he approaches it. And like, so when I wrote it, I was very specific about what went down.
Yeah. Okay.
Marco, of course, is looking at from an artist's point of view, because when you're doing film versus comic, you have to showcase. I mean, like the film, you get to see everything. You get to see the cool run off the wall. You get to see, like, I almost fall down the steps. You get to see,
These are
like,
moving images. They're moving
arms,
images.
the
Yeah.
knife flipping in the air. You get to see all of that stuff, right? But in the comic, it's like you might see them stepping on the wall sideways and then a motion that they're flipping, but you don't see the whole thing. So then it was a conversation between him and I, which moments were the most important to get into the fight. And which ones, like, the big movements are the ones that translate well to 2D comics. So, like, again, with him putting the hat and flipping the table and doing big kicks and big punches, those are the things that was most important in that fight. So Marco was able to communicate, but we did talk through that fight quite a bit to make sure that it was accurate to what Jude's character was. And then there was the problem because remember, I was like, oh, we took this character that was like man too and made it a woman. Jude would never punch a woman.
Right.
So then we had to figure out, how does this woman fall down? So if you go back and you look at the fight, Jorge, he never actually hits her. She is knocked down like 3 times by her own people, like, who are like swinging a mace and they knock her down, or like, you know what I mean? Like someone falls and they fall into her. So we had to kind of figure that out too on the fly, because
so Marco must have really wanted to keep this female character in there. Like,
well,
for,
I mean, I like it, and he's right. Like a lot of times when I'm writing those ancillary characters, like man 1, man 2, man 1, man 2, because I'm just not thinking, that it's a fleshed out character. It's just someone in the background who's important to this scene, and then they're gone. So he's like, we need to diversify. And I'm like, you are 100% right. I'm like, you have license, we'll look at a script, and if there's a character that would make sense that could be man or woman, if you want to make him a woman, you want whatever, it's fine. To just make sure that we're being more diverse, I guess, because he's like, the men are gonna get bored of looking at all men, and I'm like, about that. Yeah,
About that. Yeah. How many rough drafts did he sketch up before you were like, all right, this is the fight scene that I want, or was it just a conversation and then he just drew it?
It was a conversation and then he drew it. A lot of times, so the way that we function, we'll have a meeting, we'll discuss the script. I will talk about, what's important on certain scenes that have to be on the page. Because I know, I don't expect him to remember all the plot details and, fine points. That's my job. So I'll make sure he knows what needs to be there. And then he will usually do like a round of thumbnails. So he'll draw one page like 4 times, 5 times until he feels comfortable. And then we'll meet at that point, at that stage, and we'll talk about like, I like this, I like that, put these together. This works, but this doesn't. So, and then from that, he will go in and pencil, and he usually can get it spot on. There's only a few times where I'm like, no, you need to, that's the wrong way, or that's the wrong thing. Most of the time I'm all on board, and then we get to the end and the editor's like, hey, wasn't that supposed to be this way? And we're like, damn it,
Thank God for that editor.
Right, because she catches a ton of stuff sometimes. So it's like,
that's awesome.
And sometimes it's like, okay, no one's gonna notice this, but they will notice that.
Yeah.
So we'll have to fix that.
Awesome.
But after he pencils and we look at it one more time. It's usually like, these look beautiful. He inks them, and now I just brought on a colorist for the first time. She's wonderful. Her name is.
So he's not coloring. He's not coloring. He's not coloring that.
He colored issue 2.
Oh, okay.
But Marco's getting busy.
Yeah. I'm sure his stuff is beautiful. And I cut you off, Lori, when you said the name of the color. So
Marta Gasparoni. She lives in San Marino, so she's over in Italy. But does great work. She was actually recommended to me by a friend and colleague, Ryan George, who is writing a comic as well. She started just this year. So him and I have been in contact. He is also a podcaster. I was on his show promoting Path of the Pale Rider. And then he was kind of like, hey, I want to talk to comic book creators who have done this. And I was like, I've done that. And he's like, oh, Lori, hey, come on the show. So we were talking, and I was like, at some point I was looking at his work. I'm like, these are beautiful. I'm looking for a colorist. Would your colorist be interested? He was like, absolutely, more work for Marta. And we shopped around. We had about 4 different people that were turning in test pages, and Marta was the winner, hands down. So her style just matched everybody else that was there. Still beautiful art, accomplished artist. It just was, her style matched more with what Marco's already was, because again, we already colored issue number 2. So we want to go forward in the same light. We don't want to like change everything, start over. So Marta for sure.
Will she be coloring issue number 1?
Eventually I would think so, when we can raise enough money. I kind of went off. Remember when you were like, hey, this is how you stop losing money as an artist? As an indie creator, I think I need to go watch that. You get so excited, and I okayed things. I really wanted that color, even though we probably didn't make enough in the last campaign to justify doing color. We were close. And I okayed it, and then I did the Choose Your Own Adventure book, so I was just getting a little ambitious. So we got to recap. I got to go sell some books. Let's just put that way. We're going to recap some times. We're going to make issue 3, but we're in it for the long haul. We're going to keep making books, and you know what I mean? It's just being consistent, being true to what you say you're going to do, producing a good product, meeting people, building a community, supporting other indie creators. We're all here for each other. So it's like, that's really the path to success. I had this wonderful lady on today on my show. on the Tuesday Morning Brew, Madeline Holly Rosing, and she is 10 years into this.
Is it the metaphysical, Boston Metaphysical?
Yes.
Yeah, she's gonna be on our
your
show.
show.
Yeah, she's been on our show before. She's coming back on. Yeah,
Yes. Have you looked at her Kickstarter?
fantastic.
She has over 500 backers, and
I
she
know.
broke $15,000.
Yes.
Yeah.
Amazing. But
Yeah.
again, she has this body of work that substantiates, that number. So it's like, I asked her for advice for myself today. I'm like, looking at where I am, and how I want to be where you are someday. What's the advice you could give me? And she was like, first of all, get sleep. I was like, okay. She's like, second of all, just stay in the game, stay humble. She's like, don't spend all your money on merch. And I was like, ooh, I just did that.
Yeah.
But
it's hard.
Nice
it's hard not to, right? And we were talking about like
know.
when you're new to this thing, you're so excited and you want everything right now, and you feel like I can do it. I can do that. I can do that. This is great. This is gonna work out. And then slowly you start realizing, damn, okay, I need to slow down.
It's work.
It is. It's a lot.
It's a lot. And what you guys were talking about coming back for campaign number 2, that's what happened. Where I was like, hey, I've been building an audience. I have a show now. I've made so much money, more connections. Like, we did this amount. We're going to make more, right? And then, like you said, the family was still all in there. But, like, I had a lot of friends that were like,
peace.
We love you. Good luck. And it's like, oh.
Yeah.
I'm going to go. I have to find more backers to make this work. Yeah. So it's just a process, and you just got to stay in it. And
it is. But I'll tell you this, Lori. I think you have a great product. I don't think that you have a product issue at this point. I think it's a great product, great concept. You have a great artist. You have the right attitude. It's just the grind. It's just a grind, and it's
12 rounds. It's 12 rounds in the fight, and you guys gotta stick it. It was what's his name? Damn, the heavyweight boxer that got knocked out by Deontay Wilder, and he was out cold on the canvas. And on count 9, he got up and resurrected like it was crazy. and he came back, and then they called it a draw.
Oh my god!
Yeah, and so they fought again, and then he knocked him out. And he won the heavyweight title, but. You got to be in it for the long game, because you're gonna get knocked down. You're gonna get, you're gonna feel weak. You're gonna feel, depressed and frustrated and all that stuff. But if you're in it for the long game and for the right reasons, eventually the stars are gonna align in your favor.
Yeah.
Here's how I see it. Where I am now is in the beginning, and it's a process. And embrace the suck, because everybody starts at the same place. Yeah. And it's time. Oh, is that who it was?
Yes.
Yeah,
okay. But it's just time and dedication. And obviously we are all passionate about our books and what we bring to them. And it's contagious. So staying in there and growing every year and learning from everybody, not just, the Politos of the world. There's other things that you can learn from everybody. It's like, as long as you are open to learn new things and try new things and to stick in the game, eventually we're going to be in the place where we're like a Madeline, like a Polito, right? Yeah, and then we have put in that time, and we can look back and say, I stuck in there. I did it. I, started at the same place as everybody else, and I managed to learn and get to where I wanted to be. So I'm appreciating where I am right now, because it's a journey. It's not a sprint, it's a marathon.
Yeah. I think sometimes we learn more from the failures of others than the success of those people that have tons of money. Like, if we're smart enough to look and say, ooh, I mean, they did that, I'm going to try to avoid that pitfall. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And there are a lot of people who are willing to talk about their failures more.
Right.
Like, I did this, don't do that.
Right.
But sometimes we think, hey, just because you fail doesn't mean I'm going to fail at that.
It depends on what it is.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. You got to keep an open mind. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I mean, and just learn. Just be open to learning. I keep adjusting this thing. I wore this today for you guys.
Oh, that's okay. So talk a little bit about that before we go. All right. What do you got there?
So in my book, because of course we have people that are undead. And in the very beginning, when they're undead, it's hard to tell the difference between the living and the undead. But of course, what the difference is the heartbeat, right? So we want to know, Are you alive or are you undead the second that it happens? So in my book, the government kind of makes these like, it's kind of like it's a driver's license. You have to wear it all the time. And when you activate it, it will blink green with your heartbeat. If you are undead, it's supposed to just stay red, indicating you are flatlining. And they also have an audio part to them as well. So like Jude in issue 1, here's his, freaking out because Big James is standing right behind him. And then I have another scene like in the beginning, he finds a kid and he makes them activate it just to make sure that they're both alive. You know what I mean? It's kind of like making sure you know what you're getting yourself into. Where is it?
Right.
Blah, 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 blah. Terrible. See, he's
Yeah.
clicking his thing and it's like alive, right?
Yeah.
So since they're kind of integral to my story, I decided to make one. I made one last year out of some like reclaimed parts, and it was metal, it was heavy, but
it works. Look at
so
you.
this one actually it beats. And then I have a red one too, a red setting, so it just stays on.
That's awesome.
So I mean,
that is awesome.
I have to like Velcro it, I think, onto a specific shirt that I'm gonna wear to like cosplay my own characters. But
okay. Okay.
I actually ordered sound components to it too. So like those stupid greeting cards that when you open it, it sings happy birthday or some stupid crap and you can't get it to shut up. I ordered 2 of those electrical components so I can record like heartbeat and I can record like flatline. Sorry about that. So it will also have sound.
That's amazing.
When I'm done.
That's amazing.
Wow, look at you.
That's
but
amazing.
This is really cool, and I just wanted to show it off. It may or may not show up in the next campaign.
There you go.
It might not be as cool as mine, but I might be able to make a few.
Right. Oh, that's awesome. See, I like that you're thinking outside the box, and that's what this whole thing is.
This would be. It's like you can't get this anywhere else.
No, you can't. That's awesome.
And that's what makes it unique. I think, but that's that entrepreneur spirit, right? It's like you work with what you have, and that's a message my mom always told me. It's like work with what you have, and try not to always want the next best thing. Build on what you have.
Yeah.
Start there. You know what I'm saying? I think that's what you're doing, and that's very smart.
Thank you.
Awesome, Flori. That is awesome.
Yeah, when's the next time I'm going to see you?
What kinds are you doing? Oh, I think Paul is setting up a meetup. Yes,
April,
I think it's in May. I think in May.
In May?
Well, I don't know. I know I saw him post something for April, but I know he gave me dates in May.
He's giving you the wrong dates.
He's there in April. Sam will show up in May.
I saw him. Yeah, it's funny. I was talking to him, and I said, "Yeah, I could do." I gave him the dates because I'm in 2 conventions in April, and then in May I'm traveling for 3 weeks, and then and I told him the last week in May I was available, and then he went on social media and posted, "Oh, meet up in April." I was like, "Wait, we talked about May," so it must be another meetup. I don't know, but I'll follow up with Paulie G. I'll follow up with Paulie G.
That's awesome. That is awesome. Where are you going to be, Lori? What shows are you doing?
Well, I'm going to be at the Women in Art at Pastime Comics actually this weekend on Saturday.
Nice.
I think it's from 11 to 5. So if you're in, I think it's Watuga, I want to say. Did I say that right? Watuga? It's Watuga. It's over closer to Fort Worth. Okay. Oops, Paul. Oops. Sorry. So I'll be there this Saturday. I will have issue number 2 books on Saturday. Nice. So if you come visit me, I'll have issue number 1 and number 2 available for purchase. I have a ton of 11 by 17s that are awesome. They're just beautiful. They turned out great. So if you are in the area, please come see me. I think I might have some extra keychains, some extra tchotchkes, but not a lot. And mostly the stuff that I made for the Kickstarter. And then on the 25th, there's going to be, I don't even know the name of this one. There is a Comic-Con going on in Plano that's going to be hosted by My Possibilities, which is a special needs coordination program. Like they coordinate like group homes and programs for kids and adults with special needs. My friend Walter Jimenez is organizing that one. And I'm not sure how many creators are going to be there, but there's going to be, it's a big space in Plano. So We'll see. But I will be there, and Marco will be there with me. So
Awesome.
the two of us love to go to cons together since we're close. We're close by, and we share a table all the time because I got the comics, and then he has like the original art and sketchbooks, and so we kind of like check both boxes.
Yeah.
So that'll be fun. So if you guys are interested in meeting the both of us, we'll be there on the 25th in Plano. Free comic book day, I'll probably be at Pastime. And that's all I know right now. We usually go to Arlington because Marco is local to Arlington. So we usually go to that one, which is, I think, in April.
Yeah. Me.
So we should be there too. So quite a few coming up. And
Good.
then probably not for a little bit. We'll be in production mode. I'm going to be traveling to Michigan in June. Oh, I'm going to be doing, we haven't settled on a date yet, but I'm going to be in Michigan. I'm going to be doing a book signing in a store in Livonia called Gotham Knights.
Nice.
Awesome.
I'm really excited for that because he's my
Good
buddy,
for you.
Fergal.
Good.
So, yeah,
All right.
doing what
And
I
when-
can.
And when are you launching the campaign for issue
March
3?
20th.
March 20th.
RJ is not on here, but I was going to see if RJ would.
13 days from now.
RJ from Critical Blast. He's on the Madness channel like I am, and he has a show on Monday nights. So I was going to see if he would do my launch party. But you guys are welcome to come hang out with me at my launch party. I love when everybody shows up to be like, hey, how you doing? How you doing? Great. Hey, you know.
That's awesome. And what is it, a 30-day campaign, Lauren?
30 days. So
30-day
we'll run
campaign.
from like March 20th to April 19th.
Okay.
So
Awesome. I'm looking forward to it. Congratulations on a great book, too. I'm sure book 3 is even better. So I'm looking forward to see what happens with Jude. I know we got a little flashback scene at the end there, so that's awesome.
3
yeah.
and 4, don't be mad at me, please.
Oh, man.
I mean, if you figured out, if you've read my 1 and 2, you kind of see my MO about how I tackle the ending. Don't get too attached is all I got to say.
Gotcha.
3 is bad, 4 is way worse. Yeah.
Like Game of Thrones over here. I mean,
It's pretty
just like,
bad.
it's over.
I've warned people since the beginning. I killed just about everybody.
Good.
Well,
not really. You just decaying. They're just decaying.
Exactly. I was like, even though they have this grisly, untimely death, they can just stand up and walk around when they're done.
There you go.
It might be missing
Laurie,
a liver too, but whatever.
You're crazy. But thank you so much for coming on the show tonight, Laurie. You've been amazing.
Thank you for
This has
having
been
me.
fun. Yeah, no, anytime. And I'm looking forward to the 20th. So make sure, guys, if you haven't done so yet, sign up to the launch page. That is up right now. She's got, 48 subscribers right now?
Yeah,
48.
yeah, 4 tonight, so,
Thanks,
yeah.
guys. We got
Yeah, there
6
you go.
since this morning.
All right,
Yeah,
all right. So it's
fire. Fuego.
That's right. That's right. But yeah, listen, you're welcome back anytime. Thank you so much.
You.
For giving us a little what's coming up next. And I love that little.
I don't want you to say.
I know. It's like, is he breaking up?
Oh,
no.
no.
No, right at the end, too.
Oh, no. That's what I said.
Oh,
Yes.
Laurie, thank you so much. That's what I said.
Thank you.
Yes, and when Paul gets the dates right, I'll be there, and it'll be a party. So, and much success to you this weekend. Have fun this weekend.
Thank you. I always have fun no matter where I go.
I know you do. And that laugh, you need to trademark that laugh. It's like
It's
second
good.
best to Eddie Murphy's.
You know, I was cracking up the entire first half of your show. You guys, you have a great show. You laugh the whole time.
Thank
You
you.
give
Thank you.
great information. You have guests on. I love it. I love it. I'm a fan of Catch the Craze. I will be on here as many times as you guys will let me be on, and we'll have a great time.
There you go.
We will. We will.
Yes.
Oh, and I'm a member of GIG as of this morning.
All right,
Oh,
Laurie.
look at
Good
that.
job.
Look at
Yeah. Oh, yeah. All right. Thank
I'm
you.
doing that.
Oh, Laurie, have a good night. Thank you so much. Take care.
Thank you.
You got it. All right, that was Laurie Calcaterra. Check out Path of the Pale Rider, issue number 3. Again, launches on the 20th in 13 days. And if you're in Texas, go and check her out at the women's event next weekend. I forgot the actual name, but it's Women in Comics or Women in Power or just Women's World or, whatever. It's a women's world. We're just living it. And but yeah, check it out, fantastic, and check out her podcast every week. Really cool, really great stuff. Talented writer, talented creator.
She really is.
She's doing all the right things, which is fantastic, bro.
Yeah, no, she really is. It's a great book. Check it out. Make sure you sign up to that page. Make sure you pledge to the campaign that Monday night. Johnny, what up? But yeah, brother. So what are we doing next week? I won't be on next week. Are you doing the show next week? What are you doing next week?
George is not going to be here next week, and we'll see. I don't know if I'll put it in the comments if you want me to come back on next week and just chat it up with you guys, answer some questions, or if you just want us to go on vacation. You let us know, and I'll show up. Yeah, it all depends on what you guys want. Again, don't forget, if you're on Facebook or Instagram, check out A Kid and a Comic. That is the publishing house that's producing the comic strip that Duty's a part of. Let's see, what is it? I'm co-host in a New York.
Lori says she'll co-host in a New York accent.
Oh, there you go. Hey, yo. So check out A Kid and Duty. We'll be in a newspaper magazine hitting the stores in the summer. That's going to be exciting as a comic strip. And if you haven't done so already, sign up for the graphic novel launch that's going to pop off on April 4th, right? April 4th for the graphic novel, first 5 issues in there, 140 pages plus some fun in there. It's going to be dope. So check it out. And if you haven't subscribed to the channel, make sure you hit that subscribe button, hit that like button, leave a comment, help the algorithms help us. When we grow, our community grows, and more eyes on the Craze. That means more eyes on our guests. And that's why we do it. So it's pretty fantastic. And then check out The Art of Samuel, weekly shows on my art channel. The newest one is 7 tips to crowdfunding comics and what I learned from 10 campaigns. So check that out. And then go over and check out Get Your Meds with a Z, like in zebra. GetYourMeds.com for all things Medina. It was a fun night, and thank you everybody for coming out. We had a lively audience this week. It was fantastic. So we appreciate every single one of you coming out tonight.
Yes, thank you very much, guys. And make sure you subscribe. Don't forget to subscribe. Share it. Share this audio. Share the podcast out to anyone you know. Just share it and help us grow. So that's all I got, Sammy.
Yes, and again, thank you for the 3 new subscribers the past few days to the channel. We appreciate you. With that said, I'm Sam, the Crazy Man Vera.
George, the Dreamer Medina. Peace.
And we are... It's just easy. It's not.
Crazy. Acquiesce.
No, I was talking about my friend Acquiesce. Say my name, right?
This is what you were thinking? Oh,
he described me. He said, I'm the...
What? Catch the Craze. You're listening to Catch the Craze. You're listening to Catch the Craze. To Catch the Craze. You are listening to Catch the Craze. Catch the Craze. You're listening to Catch the Craze.
Girl.